Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today I want to do a little bit of a new gun alert. There's a new gun that was announced a couple of days ago that has me all flutter, and I think it might tickle the private parts of some of you guys out there also. And the gun I'm talking about is the SIG P320 Spectre. Now, I know a lot of you right now are saying, is Yankee drunk or high? Or has he just lost his marbles and he saw a magazine from like years ago and he thinks that's new because he's, like I said, senile? That's possible, but that isn't the case right now because this is a new gun. It is the SIG P320 Spectre Comp. That's right, a compensated model straight from the factory. Now, this gun is right up my alley because I like compensated guns. And I like full-size guns. Lately, all the guns you've seen coming out are smaller and smaller. It seems like everyone tries to be smaller than the last one. I don't really like small guns. So I'm actually happy to see a gun come out that is compensated and full-sized. This is not a small gun. It's a big gun, and it makes no apologies about it. This gun has a 4.6-inch barrel. That's a long barrel nowadays. And then it's got a compensator on the end of it. So it's actually more like a 5.5-inch barrel. This thing is a full-size plus. It's like 8.5 inches long. It's also not small in its capacity. This comes with two 21-round 9mm magazines. That means every time you load it up with just one magazine, you got 22 rounds of 9mm. That's no small feat. That's not a tiny bit of ammunition. You're ready to go with that many rounds, especially if you carry another mag, which you should always do. You're looking at 43 rounds of ammo just from carrying one extra mag. That's impressive. That also means it's a large gun, like I said. Now, the gun uses the tungsten-infused frame. I would rather see it with an alloy frame, like the AXGs, but the tungsten-infused frame, which is what I believe they call it, is supposedly better than polymer. I still just consider it a plastic frame, but, you know, that's because of my ignorance, probably. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say it is better. But I will say one thing I do like about it. I like that X5 type frame, and I like the fact that it has that really long dust cover. So it gives the gun that almost full dust cover look. I say almost because, you know, the compensator sticks out a little bit at the end. But, you know, it's pretty much a full dust cover. And I love the look when they do that instead of the short dust covers. I like seeing as little of the bottom of the slide as possible. So I think that's a good thing with it right there. I don't know what the MSRP is on this gun because they don't tend to advertise their MSRPs a lot. SIG kind of has a, if you have to ask, you can't afford it mindset when they first start advertising their guns. They make MSRP difficult to find. I believe it's going to be about $13.99, so not a cheap gun, but like I said, not a small gun either. It also comes with a compensator. It's also got some touches like, you know, a gold trigger and a gold barrel to make it fancy, and I like fancy sometimes. And I'm not just talking the Reba McEntire song, although I do know all the words to that. So this is a gun I'm looking forward to. Like I said, it's not a tiny gun. It's not something for people who like easily concealed guns. This is going to be more for range use, home use, maybe vehicle use, or for people who really don't give a shit if people see they're carrying, like me, you know, old people. So I'm very excited about this gun. I can't wait to see it actually hit the market. I can't wait to see it for myself. I haven't seen it in person yet, but like I said, I just love the fact that it comes compensated from the factory because that solves some problems that you run into when you try to add a compensator to a gun. Plus, since it's already added on, you can do that dust cover that comes out past the compensator, or at least almost to the end of it, goes past the initial point of it. I think you know what I mean. So I really like that it comes from the factory, solves some of those problems with adding one, which we'll talk about here in a couple of minutes in my second part of this show. But I just want to make everyone out there aware who wasn't already that we've got a new gun coming that I think is going to be awesome, and it is the SIG P320 Spectre Comp. All right, with that being said, and saying how I love compensated guns, now I want to answer a question that's been asked to me many times, and that is, do compensators actually do anything on a handgun? And to be honest, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. But I don't think so. And I know a lot of people right now are screaming, professionals use them all the time and blah, 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 so they must work. Well, I've talked to a lot of the people who use them because this is something I've been curious of for a long time. And I've had every bit as many professional shooters or semi-pro shooters tell me that the comps are more or less just a weight on the end of the barrel than they are anything else, as I have had them try to tell me they actually do anything other than the weight, through putting gases out. The way they supposedly work is they release gas and therefore reduce muzzle flip. It's like a little jet engine that helps hold the barrel down or hold it centered if they go off to the side. I have never seen anyone do a true test of this to see if they actually work, because all you'd have to do is set up two guns, one with a longer barrel and slide, one with a compensator that had similar weight and length, and then put them on a ransom rest with some sort of recoil device that measures the amount of energy in the flip and how high they flip, and see is there a difference. Someone could easily do that. Haven't seen anyone do it. Maybe they have. I've never seen it, and I've searched for it. So it seems like it'd be an easy thing to prove if someone wanted to prove it, but never seen anyone prove it. And in fact, most of the people I see sing the praises of comps usually either have an advertising deal with a gun manufacturer that makes them, or they sell them themselves. So I've always been a little bit, do they do a lot on handguns or do they not? But other than that, I've always said I like them. Sometimes I think they're just a gimmick, and I'm the kind of person that gimmick works on because I like it. Now, there are some drawbacks to comps, of course. If you add one yourself, you could be screwing up the weight ratio. You can be slowing your slide down. You can actually cause your gun to malfunction. I had a gun once that when I put a comp on it, it would not fire. I had to go get a lighter spring put in it, and then it worked. But sometimes you can run into issues adding comps on your own. I like when they come from the factory, so they're set up that way. But otherwise, the only real negative things about them is they make the gun longer and heavier. But as far as recoil goes, that extra weight at the end of your barrel actually will help with muzzle flip. Whether the actual vents do anything or not is kind of a side point to me. I like the way they look, especially like when you rack it back and the comp stays, up there and the barrel, the slide comes. I think that's a great look. I like it a lot. That's just me. I like the aesthetics of guns sometimes. But as far as does it actually do anything, it's so close to the end of the barrel that it would be so little gas that actually is affected and removed before things have already started working that I just can't do the math in my head to make it make any substantial difference, to the point where I would think that the differences made by the escaping gases in different directions really isn't going to do much as far as recoil reduction, at least not as much as the weight does. And another bad thing that they can do, especially if you have side pointed muzzle brake or whatever you want to call it, compensation, it can make the gun a lot louder for people who are off to the left or the right of you. Overall, a lot of people think it makes the gun a whole lot louder. It doesn't really change the decibel rating that much. It just redirects it in different directions, up and to the sides quite often. So that's something you might want to consider, but I don't really think that's too big of an issue, especially if it's going to be for self-defense. I don't think anybody's going to complain that, you shot the bad guy, but now my ears are ringing. If they do, smack them. But like I said, I don't know if they work. I lean towards probably not, other than being a nice counterbalance weight on the end of the gun. But I'm still a huge fan of them. I still like them, and I'll still buy them. All right, everybody, that's it for me today. I want to thank everyone for coming today. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, I just want to remind everyone out there to always carry, especially if you got a comp on your gun. I love those. And stay safe until I see you again.